With the Switch 2 all but officially confirmed, the Nintendo Switch is approaching the end of its life cycle. So I wanted to count down what, in my opinion, are the 10 best Switch games. Now, this list was very difficult to make, and I'm sure everyone would have their own list. So let me know if I missed any or what changes you would make in the comments below. At number 10, I have Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread was a bit of a surprise hit when it released in October of 2021. Dread was the first major new Metroid game on the Switch, and the first since 2017's Metroid Samus Returns, which was a remake of Metroid 2 Return of Samus. With a fairly scarce amount of Metroid releases and a shakeup with the tone of this new game, people weren't sure how this game would play out. Fans were pleasantly surprised to see Metroid Dread was a fantastic addition to the Metroid formula with the same, quote, Metroidvania gameplay that everyone has grown to love. One aspect of this game that makes it stand out, and is the reason it's on the list, is the really clever way it introduces the feeling of dread, no pun intended. A new mechanic is that at times an unkillable machine will start chasing Samus, and she must weave through the winding Metroidvania maze without being caught and killed. It's not something I would have ever thought would work in a game like this, but Dev Mercury Steam nailed it. The sense of panic I feel as I know a killer machine is closing in on me is exhilarating. It's the perfect addition to what would have already been a great game, and this is why it makes my list. At number 9, I have Animal Crossing New Horizons. The game that took over everyone's lives during the start of the pandemic. Animal Crossing New Horizons does what Animal Crossing does best. Create an addicting open world to build, improve, and make how you want. New Horizons does a great job of letting you feel like you can play at your own pace, but also rewarding you for coming back day after day. I was always excited to wake up in the morning and open my island to continue my previous day's work. This game does what Animal Crossing does best. It creates a comforting and warm experience with a side of addicting gameplay. While a lack of meaningful updates stop it from being higher on my list, the base game is already so good, it's worthy of being number 9 on my list. At number 8, I have Fire Emblem Three Houses. I absolutely adore Fire Emblem Three Houses. This game is what would happen if you combine Fire Emblem's turn-based combat with Persona's social aspects. That may sound too good to be true, but somehow the devs did it. The Fire Emblem side of the gameplay is fairly standard for what we know from past games, and that's not a bad thing. Fire Emblem's turn-based strategy holds up to this day. And with the upgraded graphics of the Nintendo Switch, the little animations that happen when two enemies engage in combat looks great and adds a lot to the battles. What makes this game stand out, though, is the social aspects that are new to this entry. You build relationships with the other characters, and then that translates to increased stats, abilities, and unlockable events or missions. I adored this aspect of the game, and one of the reasons it's so successful is because each character is so unique and interesting. Each one has their own personality, and while it may teeter on the edge of basic stereotypes, I felt every character was done justice and had a meaningful story to tell. Overall, Fire Emblem Three Houses is one of the best Switch games, and dare say one of the best Fire Emblems of all time. At number 7, I have Celeste. Celeste is one of the best platformers of all time, flat out. This game is perfect. For those that are unfamiliar, it's a platformer in which you play as a little girl named Madeline and embark on a quest to climb the tallest mountain in the world, Celeste. The jumping is precise, and every time I died, I knew it was my fault. I never felt that I was cheated because of bad controls or level design. The game is also really challenging, but not in a frustrating way. One of my favorite aspects of Celeste is that each level is one screen and you immediately respawn upon death. This helps prevent the game from feeling like a frustrating slog. It has a very similar vibe to think like Super Meat Boy. And upon completing a challenging level, it's always satisfying and gives you that addicting impulse to continue. But what puts Celeste above other platformers is its writing and themes. I don't want to say much more because you really just have to experience it, but trust me when I say this game has better storytelling than a lot of AAA games. Celeste is the gold standard for indie games and easily deserves a spot on this list. At number 6 on my list, I have Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 deserves a spot among the top 10 Nintendo Switch games for its epic storytelling, immersive world, and innovative gameplay. The game features a dynamic combat system that blends real-time action with strategic depth. The game features a dynamic combat system that blends real-time action with strategic depth, allowing players to experiment with character roles, abilities, and synergies. The open world is vast and beautifully designed, filled with secrets, quests, and lore to uncover. And the emotionally resonant story explores themes of life, death, and personal growth with well-developed characters that drive the narrative forward. Coupled with a memorable soundtrack and stunning visuals, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 offers a deeply engaging RPG experience, combining exploration, tactical combat, and emotional depth in a way few games on the Switch can match. At number 5, I have Mario Kart Deluxe. No top 10 Switch game list would be complete without Mario Kart Deluxe. What I would argue is not only the best Mario Kart game, but the best racing game ever made. MK Deluxe is the same familiar Mario Kart game, but with the largest selection of characters, maps, and modes to date. The game brings back classic maps that still appeal to newcomers and seasoned veterans. The game brings back classic maps that still appeal to newcomers and seasoned veterans. There really isn't anything negative I can say about this game. The racing is fun, fluid, and exciting. It appeals to casual players and hardcore. In my opinion, if you get a Switch, this is the first game you need to purchase. At number 4, I have Hades. If you don't like Hades, then I'm guessing you haven't played it. Hades is a roguelike action game set in ancient Greece, specifically in the deep dark underworld. You play as protagonist Zagreus, son of Hades, and must continually work your way through the labyrinth of the underworld, getting killed over and over as you slowly progress. The gameplay is fast and fluid, and it never felt unfair. I always felt like I was getting better. The power-ups came at a great pace, and I didn't feel that I had to overly work for an upgrade. Now, it's the same roguelike formula that we're already familiar with, but what makes Hades a masterpiece is the storytelling. Each run is a new addition to the incredible lore, with deities such as Zeus, Athena, and Poseidon offering their own tales and insight. And their writing is really clever and witty. I always enjoyed coming out from a run to be met with jabs and insults for dying again and again. It's masterful. I could go on, but even if you don't traditionally play roguelikes, I would think about trying Hades. At number 3 on my list, I have Super Mario Odyssey. Straight up, this is the ultimate Mario game. The world is massive, colorful, and feels alive. It really feels like it's its own world, and I had an amazing time uncovering its many secrets. Of course, the controls are the best in a Mario game so far, with tight and precise controls. The addition of Cappy, while a bold move at first, ended up being a game changer and perfect addition to spice up the already familiar Mario Bros. Formula. Plus, the addition of the darker side of the moon levels are perfect additions for longtime Mario fans. For me personally, the most fun I had playing the game was these levels. They're incredibly challenging but rewarding. Every aspect of this game was fun. I even enjoyed collecting all the moons because it meant I was able to just explore the world. And finally, I can't forget to mention the music. It has one of the best soundtracks in any game. The jazzy main tune of the game is a perfect backdrop to an already amazing game. Super Mario Odyssey will be remembered for years to come and easily deserves a spot on this list. Number 2, I have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is my personal most played Nintendo Switch game. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is an addicting masterpiece. With every character in Smash Bros. History, Ultimate not only meets but exceeds all expectations. The controls are tight and intuitive, allowing players to jump in quickly but also rewarding mastery of complex techniques. The multiplayer modes are fast-paced and incredibly fun, whether you're playing locally or online. Additionally, the single-player content, including Classic Mode and Spirits, adds tons of value. Its balance, variety, and sheer fun factor make it the ultimate party game and a deeply engaging competitive experience. I couldn't have asked for anything more from a Smash Bros. Game. My number 1 Nintendo Switch game is none other than 1-2 Switch. This game is everything you could want out of a Switch game. It's the perfect... Nah, I'm just kidding. It's Zelda Breath of the Wild. This game is the ultimate open world game. Its emphasis on exploration and experimentation are second to none and offer a unique experience that is almost hard to put into words. I'm going to cheat a little bit and also put Tears of the Kingdom with this because I think it's just as good and I didn't want 1 and 2 to both basically be the same game. So these games do everything exceptional, from the incredible soundtrack to the jaw-dropping visuals and unique gameplay. With their seamless blend of adventure, strategy, and discovery, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are masterpieces that redefine what an open world game can be. In my opinion, they are easily the best games on the Nintendo Switch, and they've raised the bar for gaming in general. So that is my list for the top 10 Nintendo Switch games. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Obviously, this is my personal list. I know there's tons of games I left out. There's tons of games that could have been put on the list, but ultimately I had to put it down to 10. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.